Hey guys, it's Mike and Kurt back in headquarters. I like to say my name first. We're in the studio right now messing around, and one of the things that we wanted to do in one of the videos is we kind of wanted to show you somebody else's setup blindly.
Yeah.
It's the blind go bag test.
We walked up to somebody in the Fry's parking lot grocery shopping and said,
Yeah.
give me your go bag, let me see what you got.
And this is what we got. This is a cool, fancy little bag. This pack is a Molly lace pack. It's got a single strap on it. It's got 550 cord strung here, which is good because it might have had a different function, but it's tied off and you can utilize it for obviously
Cordage.
Cordage.
Yep.
And we have a piece of cordage on top, and also it's not as strong as cordage, but you have nylon on all the zippers.
Right.
That are all YKK. There's 550 cord here. So yeah, nice pack, small, slim. One of the pros, we're going to do pros and cons this time.
Right.
I'll give a pro. A pro is the size. It's good in form factor because you could stuff it in your car, under your seat. This is almost similar to something I use in contracting.
Yeah.
What's a con?
So obviously, if you're running a small bag and you're running this inside of your vehicle, it might not give you the actual capacity to build out something for 72 hours. So, some of the things that you consider is throwing in Cliff Bars, some of the different things we like to eat that have, high calorie content. So that way, if you've got to go on something for a long period of time and you don't want to take up too much space, you might throw Cliff Bars or something like that in there. So we haven't got a chance to get into the bag yet. But as far as it being a small bag, maybe it doesn't have the capacity to carry more.
True, true. Sometimes less is more though. And you have this bag set up. The one thing that I would say is a con is the actual aesthetic of the bag. It looks like a mil-spec bag. And so why is that a problem? Well, it's a problem in a survival situation that's a man-made catastrophe where people potentially would fight for resources. If I see you rolling around with a mil-spec bag on your back and I'm fighting for my life and my family's life, I'm gonna roll you up and take your bag. If I see this inside of a vehicle, I might do the same just because I want to sell it on eBay and make some money. So I know this bag kind of looks high speed and there might be something of value in it is the point. So another pro of this bag is I see on the back side of this bag, and I won't even name the manufacturer, but it's got a nice sleeve in here for what would be, or where it could still carry, a pistol could go, to where you could readily access that, maybe a tourniquet, maybe a pistol, maybe something like that.
Yeah.
All right, so let's crack it open. Crack it lacking, or something like that. And then I'll hand you the first item blindly.
Okay.
Hopefully it's not a pistol. And then, oh, it might be a pistol. So I won't do it blindly, but I'll pull out the first thing, which is a pistol. We'll set this off to the side, but can still carry a pistol.
Yeah, absolutely. So first thing I'm going to do is do the right thing. This is a Walter PP, and I'm going to go ahead and take the magazine out and make sure that the weapon system is clear. So let me make sure. Let me lock that back. So I'm checking the inside the bolt face magazine well chamber. It's indeed clear. So this guy has a small pistol for self-defense, which, hey, I mean, there's a ton of pros about having a pistol inside of an everyday carry bag or an everyday mobility bag. Obviously, you get into a survival situation, you have the ability to defend yourself or your family. So smart choice there, well done. Definitely stuff that we carry as well in our bags. Having a gun to be able to defend yourself, big deal. So
I'll tell you a con right now that I could see. A con is this is a leather holster, no problem with that. It's got a metal clip. The problem is when you pull this gun out of this pack, this comes with it. Right? So this isn't retained. If this was retained some way, it's meant to be retained on a belt. So that would hold it in place while you pull the gun. Well, if you have a gun in your pack, and especially something like this where it's man-packable and you're able to get in there and readily access a pistol, you don't want to pull the pistol out and pull it out with this.
a holster on it.
Because then you have a second movement where you're removing this and then getting into the gunfight. So this potentially could be fixed with a small hole in it that retains it via a lanyard in the inside of the bag, so you go grab the gun because it's safely retained, which is what I think the point of that. But then you grab the gun, you pull it out, and this stays in the bag, and the pistol stays outside
Absolutely.
to go to work. Yep. All right, so next. Extra ammo, big deal.
Yep, so the guy's got extra magazines here. Depending on what you build this bag out for, if it's something that's designed for 72 hours or more, it could be hugely important to have extra ammunition with you, especially if you want to hunt. And again, in the self-defense aspect, now you've got extra rounds.
Yeah,
so.
we look at go bags as like a long-range capability, during movement, right? Because this is like, hey, I got to bug out and potentially upgrade my situation to getting home potentially. Well, you want enough ammunition in your go bag to be able to fight to that place. You know, if you're operating out of your vehicle frequently, maybe you have the ammo stored in your vehicle, so you know you have a place, a cache, to be able to get to more ammo. All right, so next, pair of gloves.
Yeah. So gloves, hey, a lot of practical uses for gloves, protect your hands. You know, another scenario is, hey, we're leaving the man-made or natural disaster and I have a breakdown with my vehicle. Maybe I blow out a tire or something to that effect. Now I can put something on my hands to protect them. A lot of different things. Maybe if you're gathering firewood or something like that, or shoot, I mean, there's a lot of different options there, but having some type of hand protection, I don't think that there's a whole lot of negatives of having those gloves, other than potentially it takes up space, but not too much. So
yeah, I don't think, the only con I could see in these gloves is maybe potentially the type of glove. This is a Fox glove, so it's made for motorcycle stuff. And it's similar to the mechanics gloves, where it's got, this one actually has texture on the fingers, so you could actually probably utilize this for manipulating a weapon system. But yeah, I don't see too many disadvantages. It rolls up probably tight and nice, doesn't take up too much space, it's light in weight. So yeah, good option. Next, ooh, a wad of 550 cord.
Yeah, so we talked about cordage a little bit before on the outside of the bag. Super important to have cordage.
An interesting fact about this, I didn't realize it until I was on a free fall jump. This is 550 cord, but also known as paracord. And I looked up at my parachute once and I saw the cord running up down to my toggles and all the control mechanisms that were holding my chute on. And I'm like, oh, that's 550 cord, paracord. That's it for the main compartment. Let's go inside the small compartment. We've got two external compartments that are on the outside. Now, one of the things about the outside compartments is, obviously, when you're packing this out, you want to be able to readily access the stuff that's on the outside.
Well, even med, right? So I'm thinking like if it's a tourniquet or something like that, those are all items I want to keep outside of the main compartment, because those are the things I have to get to quickly to stop a major bleed or do something like that.
That's a periscope. No, this is not a periscope. This is it's a vortex. I think it's a magnified solo optic. It might have integrated rangefinder capability or not. No, it's 8x36 RT, so it's got rangefinder built into it. It's also got a reticle built into it. This is pretty cool.
I could definitely see that being a positive thing and having in a survival situation. However, I think that there are several other things that I would pick before I would grab one of these to throw in the bag.
So it's for you, it's a con.
Yeah, it is a con. I think there's other things that could be in this bag that would set me up better or set up my success better for a survival situation than having this.
Yeah, so for a pro, it could be observation, right? The pro is, hey, you have the ability to evade. You know, if you're in a survival situation, you're not just gonna hang around the potential catastrophe. What I like to tell people is, if you're trying to save your own butt, you want to separate yourself in distance with as many obstacles in between. Time and distance is what's going to save you. So yeah, I wouldn't opt for that as well, especially in the top portion of the panel. But you never know. This dude could be a hunter. This might be the number one priority for him.
Trail mix, yes.
Trail mix, yep. Or either that or Cocoa Puffs.
Hey, having any type of food source inside of your go bag, or your everyday carry, or your everyday mobility bag, that's not a bad thing to have. You know, not a whole lot of cons, but there are some options, I think, that potentially have a higher caloric capacity with the food itself, and they pack down smaller. So again, when we talk about efficiency with space and all these different things that make sense to put into a modern survival bag, maybe a better choice there.
Yeah, I like Doritos. So if you're gonna go with, you know, this guy packed Tylenol. I think this is the last thing in the bag. Tylenol, like all the things that are like good to have, could be important depending on the person, right?
Yeah.
You know, medication might be the thing that you put in here. A snake bite kit because you're in Arizona. There's different uses for different people, and depending on their geographic location.
Yeah.
So really, you know, this is a pretty cool survival pack. He's got his priorities of work laid out. Hopefully he heard some things that maybe he can improve or maybe that he could sustain.
Yeah, absolutely. So going back to some of the things that I think I would put into the pack are, we talk about the staples of survival. So being able to start a fire, having some, a Mylar space blanket for shelter, having a signaling device. Obviously he's got a firearm. He has a little bit of food in there. I think there could have been a better choice there. Again, with the scope, I'd pick something else based off of space. Cordage, awesome. Always want to have some good cordage. Gloves, not bad. Overall, I think it's a good kit, and it's probably based off of his geographic location, which we always teach, is that when you're building these kits out, you want to understand the environment that you live in and what that environment looks like on foot in 72 hours and what it looks like in a vehicle in 72 hours. So that way you can plan appropriately for what you need in those areas.
Yeah, you could never have the perfect go bag. There's always room for improvement, just like we teach in training and everything else. So yeah, I liked it. I thought it was squared away. My favorite part about it is this ninja-looking patch on the front, which I'm sure is infrared capable as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks guys. Hey, look, thanks for watching. Continue subscribing. We always put out this content weekly. We hope you guys are paying attention. I hope you're telling your friends. And like always, stay alert.
Stay alive.